Hey folks, welcome back. In the heart of the desert, a new kind of livestock farming is taking shape. This modern camel dairy uses high-tech systems and solar power to transform an ancient tradition into a sustainable industry. Stay with us as we step inside one of the most advanced camel farms in the world. Camelicious, located in the UAE desert, is the world's largest camel dairy farm, blending ancient practices with modern technology. For centuries, Bedouin herders in the Middle East and Africa relied on camel milk as a key source of nutrition and medicine, unlike cow milk, which dominates American diets. Known as the white gold of the desert, camel milk sustained nomadic communities in harsh conditions. In 2003, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum founded Camelicious with 25 camels. Today, it manages 8,000 camels, producing 4 million liters of milk annually, with plans to reach 20,000 camels in 5 years. In the US, camel milk is gaining traction among health-conscious consumers, particularly older adults seeking alternatives to cow milk. Compared to cow milk's 3.8% fat, camel milk has only 1.2% fat, 5 times the vitamin C, and higher calcium levels. For Americans with lactose intolerance or milk allergies, camel milk is a game changer, as 75% of adults worldwide struggle with lactose digestion, per the National Institutes of Health. U.S. sales of camel milk have grown steadily, with a 10% annual increase in demand reported by industry sources, driven by its availability in health food stores like Whole Foods. This raises the question, how does Camelicious produce this milk so efficiently? Camelicious uses cutting-edge technology and green energy, aligning with U.S. trends towards sustainable agriculture. Unlike traditional U.S. dairy farms, which often rely on fossil fuels, Camelicious powers its operations with 9,204 solar panels, meeting 100% of its electricity needs and cutting 2,359 tons of carbon emissions yearly, equivalent to removing 500 cars from American roads' total energies. A global leader in renewable energy, partners with Camelicious to maintain this system for 25 years, a model U.S. farms are starting to adopt, with solar-powered dairies increasing by 15% in states like California, per USDA reports. Camelicious also has solar-powered charging stations for electric vehicles, mirroring the U.S. push for electric mobility, where EV sales rose 40% in 2024. The farm's automated milking parlor, where camels are milked without human contact, ensures hygiene and efficiency, unlike many U.S. dairies that still use manual processes. With 740 staff, including doctors and technicians, Camelicious meets ISO 22000 and EU standards, allowing exports to 18 countries, including the U.S. This resonates with older Americans, 60% of whom prioritize eco-friendly products, according to a 2025 Pew Research survey. Camelicious shows how innovation can meet both quality and environmental goals, appealing to U.S. consumers who value sustainability. Research from Dubai's Central Veterinary Research Laboratory shows camel milk's nanobodies and lactoferrin support immunity. Reduce diabetes risk and may combat viruses, appealing to older Americans, 50% of whom seek immune-boosting foods, per ARP surveys. In the US, camel milk is pricier $18 per liter versus $4 for cow milk, but its health benefits drive its niche appeal, with consumption rising 12% annually in states like California and New York. Camelicious plans to double its herd to 20,000 camels and expand production, aiming to lead the global camel milk industry. This aligns with U.S. trends toward plant-based and alternative milks, which now hold a 16% market share, per Statista. Older Americans can find camel milk online or in stores, supporting a farm that prioritizes health and sustainability. Camelicious bridges tradition and innovation, offering a nutritious, eco-friendly choice for a health-conscious, greener future. I stood in a camel processing factory in Cairo, and what I saw changed everything. The machines hummed, workers moved swiftly, and the facility was shockingly clean and organized. Nothing like the horror stories we've all heard. The word processing factory often brings to mind hidden, chaotic, unsafe places, fueled by decades of fear dating back to the infamous meatpacking scandals of the 1800 SS. But is your food really safe? What I witnessed in Cairo made me question everything about the journey from animal to product. Alarms were ringing inside a donkey meat processing plant in China's Hebei province. A shipment had tested positive for possible contamination. Panic spread across the floor. For a moment, it seemed a total recall was inevitable. But thanks to advanced traceability technology, inspectors isolated the source within minutes. Crisis averted. Around the world, processing plants are more than just places where animals are turned into products. They are the backbone of multi-billion-dollar industries. In 2023, Queensland's beef industry alone brought in $7.5 billion in exports, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. By contrast, Egypt's camel meat market was worth just $1,600,000, dwarfed by cheaper alternatives like lamb. China's demand for donkey meat is fueling a $90 million zero-cents niche industry, but small markets still face big risks. With strict safety protocols and traceability systems, they're not just about efficiency, they're about trust. What's your biggest fear when it comes to the meat you eat? Leave it in the comments. Trending Farms experts will send you tips on how to spot clean, safe meat every time. Every factory has faced a crisis, but today it's people and technology that are turning the tide. In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, I toured a camel processing facility during Eid al-Adha. That's where I met Ahmed, a seasoned worker with over 20 years of experience. He told me about the 2020 outbreak of foot and mouth disease that shut down the entire operation. We lost weeks, he said, but we learned to build better protection. A 2021 Journal of Animal Science study backs him up, as camels thrive in harsh climates, making them a sustainable option. These plants make big money, too. Camel meat sells for 20% more per pound than beef locally. But competition from cheap lamb keeps the profit margin razor thin. Traceability tech is doing what social media couldn't: rebuild trust in the most questioned meats. In China's Hebei province, I visited a donkey meat facility with a rocky past. Manager Li Wei didn't hold back. In 2019, a flood of unregulated meat hit Beijing's markets, shaking public trust. We had to act fast, he told me. The factory poured $2 million, 0 cents into traceability systems that now track every cut. Donkey meat has deep cultural value tied to el chow, a traditional gelatin, but high tariffs, 15% to Japan, WTO data, prevent global expansion. In 2023, a viral Weibo post with over 1 million views praised Hebei's new transparency. The factory's reputation, rebuilt by showing receipts. In Finland, I uncovered a truth about fox fur that PETA never mentioned. Can you guess what it is? In the icy region of Ostrobothnia, Finland, I walked through a fox fur processing plant, pelts gleaming under fluorescent lights. It was there that Hanna, a 35-year-old worker, shared how a 2022 bird flu scare almost shut everything down. Emergency quarantines cost them thousands. After a 2020 PETA report slammed cage conditions, this factory expanded its enclosures, hoping to shift the conversation. Box fur still brings in big profits, up to 30%, compared to just 10% for meat. But the pressure is on. Synthetic fur is growing fast, up 15% annually according to Statista. So here's the real question. Would you still wear real fur if you knew exactly how it got to you? After the 2019 scandal, a donkey meat processing factory in China faced a serious crisis of consumer trust. But instead of backing down, they invested heavily in traceability technology and transparency. The results speak for themselves. Search data on Weibo shows a strong recovery, with consumers actively seeking certified donkey meat. In fact, a 2023 post with over 1 million views played a key role in restoring trust. Just like the USDA ensures the safety of your beef, factories around the world are learning to build consumer confidence through clear labels and certifications. The message they're sending is simple. By choosing trusted sources, you're not only protecting your health, but also supporting a sustainable, transparent industry. 16. Will you choose USDA-labeled meat or risk the black market? Comment to get tips from Trending Farm. How does a country smaller than Texas raise millions of pigs to craft the prosciutto and salami we drool over in American delis? Welcome to the heart of Italy's pig farming world, where tradition, grit, and innovation turn humble hogs into culinary gold. Let's uncover the stories of farmers, compare their work to America's pork industry, and ask, what does it take to feed our love for these iconic meats? In northern Italy's lush fields, about 200 miles north of Rome, pig farming is a way of life. Regions like Lombardy and Emilia-Romagna churn out 8 to 9 million pigs annually, each one destined for world-class products like prosciutto di Parma. Giovanni, a farmer in Parma, remembers his grandfather's tales of tending pigs by hand, feeding them whey from Parmesan cheese to create that signature prosciutto flavor. We'd walk the fields at dawn, he says, knowing each pig's quirks. Today, Giovanni's farm blends those memories with modern tools, raising pigs to 350 to 375 pounds over 9 months, far heavier and older than the 260 pounds. Six-month-old hogs, typical in American pork production for bacon or ribs. Italy's focus on quality over speed sets it apart from America's high-volume farms, where efficiency drives the $23 billion zero-cents pork industry. Back in the 1980 Saduca Saint Blanche, Giovanni's Faz saw family farms dotting every hill. Now their numbers have shrunk, replaced by larger operations using automated feeders and strict health protocols. A disease called African swine fever has hit hard since 2022, disrupting exports to over 25 countries and threatening Italy's $22 billion cents pork sector. American farmers dodge this disease, but face their own hurdles. Think soaring feed costs and corporate mergers swallowing small farms. Both countries import to keep up. Italy covers only 62% of its pork needs, much like America relies on Canadian grain to feed its 73 million hogs yearly. Giovanni muses, "We're all fighting to keep our way of life." Animal welfare is another shared concern. In Italy, some farms have faced criticism for tight pens or practices like trimming tails without pain relief. Sophia, a young farmer, recalls her childhood unease watching piglets in cramped spaces. "It stuck with me," she says. Now she uses straw bedding and pushes for cage-free sows, aligning with new European rules. America's moving too. California's laws demand more space for pigs, but both nations hear consumers demanding humane treatment. Unlike America's mass-market pork, Italy's premium meats like salami rely on transparency, with tech tracking every pig from farm to plate. Hope, though, is alive. Sophia's brother Matteo dreams big. His farm runs on solar power and turns pig waste into biogas, cutting costs and helping the planet. Organic farms raising rare breeds like Sintacinese mirror America's growing love for heritage hogs like red wattle. Both countries see demand for no antibiotic pork, fueled by foodies craving real flavors. Matteo reflects, "My grandfather taught me to honor the land. Now we do it with tech." This mix of nostalgia and progress feels familiar to American farmers, preserving their roots amid change. So, when you bite into prosciutto at a New York bistro, think of Giovanni, Sophia, and Matteo, the farmers, behind the magic. Italy's pig farms, like America's, weave tradition with survival, crafting legacies one hog at a time. What's next? Can family farms endure in either country? Should we value ethics over price? Share your thoughts below. Tell us your favorite pork dish, from prosciutto to pulled pork, and how you think farmers can thrive. Let's spark a conversation about the food on our plates and the hands that bring it there. Hit subscribe for more stories and check out a prosciutto recipe linked below to bring Italy home.